Good morning. It is Tuesday, 7:24. I am currently on my way to my first call. Everybody else is doing a steam boiler replacement. They're putting in a steam max. I'm going to a Jandy JXI pool heater that is not heating the pool. So hopefully I get some good footage.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Woodmere Boulevard.
Okay, so here's our pool heater. This is the control, and there's another abandoned pool heater back here that's being used for parts. First thing I'm gonna do is, I'll turn it on, show you what we have. It's reading 117 degrees on the water, so I'm gonna power it off, open it up. This little black nut right here, that's our temperature sensor, coming in on the inlet, and our outlet goes through and through everything else back to the pool. But I'll kill the power on this Aqualink control heater. See, screen's not lit anymore. I'll get my impact out and open it up. Okay, here's it opened up. This is our control board, our ignition board, and right here, these two black leads is our water temperature sensor. So first thing I'm going to do is loosen that up. I got my little Milwaukee pen screwdriver, and I'm going to test the resistance across the temperature sensor, because at whatever temperature it should be reading a specific resistance value, which I have a chart for on my phone. So I will test that and we'll see what it reads. You can see we also have an old sensor right here, but I'll test it and see what happens. Okay, I have my test leads on the temperature sensor, and you can see we're reading 9.3, and that's right at about where it needs to be. So that's kiloohms, not just regular ohms. So that's, I believe, 9.3 thousand ohms. Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna actually test the other sensor as well, just to see what that one's reading. But with a good temperature sensor, that means that it's going to be the control, which is this right here. Okay, and with my leads on the other sensor, I'm getting OL. So my feeling is that the sensor wires are cut when the sensor was replaced. It's not just sitting in there. But I'm gonna start working on replacing this control. I just need to replace all of the wiring exactly where it went and put it into the new one. I do have a new temperature sensor and a new control right here, but I know the temperature sensor is good, so that's not going to be replaced. Get my needle nose, and I'll get this all set up, and we should be good to go. Okay, so here's our new board, and here's the old one. It is a JXI400, and you can see in the box, this is for a JXI with Versaflow 200 to 400. We do have our Versaflow Bypass, that's this right here. And we know this is going to be the right one, so the first thing I'm doing is taking a look at all the wires and making sure we have jumpers where we need jumpers. So you can see we have two jumpers right here, and we have two jumpers right here. This jumper right here is for our bypass, which is those pink wires, so this jumper is going to come out. We have our user interface wiring, which is all down here, so I do have to get those wires correct. And the rest of it, except for our flue temperature sensor, is all Molex connectors, so just plug and play. So that is what I'm gonna start doing. Okay, so here is the new board. It's in place, and I got all my loose wiring connected, the wires that didn't have direct plugs, and now I can start to plug in the wires that have plugs. So I have my water flow sensor, pressure sensor, flow sensor, our high pressure limit, and these are all color coded. We have our motor for our Versaflow Bypass, and we have our ignition, our pump, our 24 volt connection. So that's in there nice and tight. And then I did take a picture of these just to make it easier to put it all back together. And going directly off the picture, let's see if I can mount this up. Well, it doesn't really want to mount and stay up. We have, it goes gray, our thick black wire, our thick white wire, which is L1 and L2 for the black and white. So here's our gray, which is our ignition. And I know our other small black wire goes right here. Make sure that's in all the way. Our power, so our black on our L1, and our white on our L2. Now we have our, I believe this is our flame sensor. For our orange wire. Sorry, I let the camera go out of view. Make sure that's nice and tight in there. And then our black and yellow is next. And our browns are directly below. And our yellow only, which is all of the grounds. Okay, so we have all of our black, orange, blue, red wires, our jumpers, our Molex connectors are all plugged in, our wires, the remote wire, water temperature wire, our fluid temperature sensor wire, all of those are in place. Just making sure that I didn't miss anything. I don't have any wires standing out. And we are good. So, what I'm gonna do before I close all this up is turn our power back on, which is our heater power, and we're gonna look at this. Gas heater is off. Press pull or spa. Press pull. Our check flow set is, leave that at 80, and heat. Okay, so pull. Check flow set to, the pump. I have to make sure that the pump is on. And our pump is on. Let's see. We did get lights on our control board. Say 90. And let me make sure we do have flow. Okay, so I did have to call the homeowner in order for the pumps to be ramped up. They weren't going to high enough speed for the pool to sense it. And you can see now our water is reading 80 degrees. I set it to 90 just for the time being. I did have to open the cover to the pool, which I didn't realize, but it's now open and we're heating, or we're gonna start heating. Right now it's just cold air, it hasn't ignited yet. And we'll wait for it to light. And we have ignition. So, there you go. Installing the Jandy power interface universal controller. And we're working, we're heating. So I'll button this back up and make sure it stays on for a little bit, but that'll be it. And the final thing that I did have to do, I got the cover on, was enable that Versaflow Bypass. And I followed these instructions here, which is while it's off, press and hold these 3 buttons for 7 seconds. And you can scroll through the menu, you'll get to the bypass option and just make sure that's enabled. And then that's it. I did hear the valve open and close when it was off and then when it was on, so it is working. And waiting for it to ignite again now that I just turned it back on, just to make sure everything starts up as normal. It's gonna take a few seconds. It's so nice being able to pull up all the manuals I could ever need on the work phone and use this phone to record. But we did just light, got the lens all foggy, and we're heating. So I'll let that run for a while and heat up the pool, and that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. There wasn't really that much to it, but replaced the interface controller for Jandy JXI, and that fixed the problem of reading the wrong temperature, even though the sensor was good. Thanks for watching. If you have any advice or feedback or any criticisms, leave it in the comment section and subscribe. Thanks for watching.